Hello, magic makers. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this reading is for you. A transmission through the Serpent Gate, a page in the Codex, and perhaps a message you were meant to remember. Before we begin, please light the fire and hit the like button. Every like you leave is a torch lit along the spiral road. Every comment is a sigil etched into the vault of echoes. And if this message resonates, consider subscribing and joining our journey through the temple. If there is anything you wish for me to hold in light or carry into the temple with you, a prayer, a protection, or an intention, speak it below. Now, these readings are not predictions, they are transmissions. I am merely the messenger. The meaning is yours to discover. So open the temple within and listen for what echoes back, because the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 9 of Pentacles, the card of gain, the card of visible signs of progress. I feel like your dreams are crystallizing way faster than you expected. I think you're somebody who is walking the spiral road. You're a magic maker. You've been putting your heart and soul into something, and it's working. You're seeing progress. You're seeing the signs, okay? This is a card of things working on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and the spiritual creative planes, right? 3, 3, and 3. This is a card of everything being connected with everything else. I feel like you're someone who is really like channeling your divine energy, your creativity, channeling your will and your intention right down to the road beneath your feet, to the ground, underneath you. You're walking the path. You're following your Tao. You're following your way. You're following the yellow brick road to the Emerald City. You're walking the spiral road. Let's put this card into a little bit of context, okay? Let's see what you're doing. Let's see what your challenges are. There's the Chariot. You're just holding it together, okay? You are using your discipline. You are gaining control over yourself. And you're driving down the road. So you're not even walking. You're driving down the spiral road. Things are picking up the pace, aren't they? Things are happening a lot faster. There's the Emperor. And the Emperor is that Aries energy that we've been embracing and evolving toward, I think, for several months now. If you go back and watch some of the older Pisces readings, you've been leaning into the Aries energy more and more. Okay? Makes sense that it's starting to show up for you again now. And here is, a little bit more of that fiery energy with a Princess of Wands. We have an Ace of Pentacles and a Princess of Swords. There is always more for you to learn, okay? Path of the Serpent. We have the Devil card. We have the Death card. We have the Hermit card and a 6 of Wands. Wow, victory. Success is yours, yeah? Inspiration is really flowing into your life now through your intuition, through your vision. Okay, there's been a shift in you, okay? I think it's woken up some of this creativity. It's woken up your fire here. Your dreams, your inspirations are also Spirit's messages, and you are the magic maker. Claim that role right now, yeah? Abundance is growing for you when you trust your inner Emperor. When you trust that boss energy of yours, abundance is going to grow. You got to trust it, okay? Let's see, I think your relationships with, the people close to you, those relationships are deepening because of your honesty, because of your compassion, but because of your willingness to kind of say, hey, I was wrong, okay? Your imagination and your creative spark, right, becomes the seed of your prosperity. Yeah. The dream is alive here. It really, really is. One thing I want you to do is homework. Write down one of your dreams. okay? One of your wishes. Write down a creative spark. Maybe one creative idea. Just on a whim. Doesn't matter how big or how small. It should be spontaneous. It should be wild. Write down one wild creative idea. Put it under your pillow, okay? That's what I want you to do. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to draw the hidden key from the codex, the unseen cipher, the one yet unrevealed. This is one card pulled at random, a fragment of the codex beyond the known spread. It represents the factor infinite and unknown, what the watchers have not yet allowed us to see. And we're going to set it down right over here with Bubo, the mechanical owl, right there on top. And we're not going to release that kraken until the very end of the transmission. But when we do, it will bring all the threads together. It'll confirm the prophecy. It will close the current page of the codex. If you feel the pulse of intuition, if the dove current is whispering to you, tell me what you sense. Leave a comment. What do you think the hidden key will reveal? So it doesn't have to be what you think that card will be. But what do you think the message will be? What do you think it will tell us? Okay? Anyway, let's look around the room. Lots of majors, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana energies. You got fire and fire. Ooh, there's no water. Okay? There's no water. I think we need maybe a little bit of water. Yeah? Maybe that's going to be what the hidden key will reveal to us, is some water energy. Got a little bit of water here with the death card. Okay, it's a Pisces card. It's that water sign energy. So there might be some water going on here that we need to talk about. That's the only way. Well, a little bit of Cancer here with the water there, I guess. Between these two cards, I wonder if there is something going on in your domestic life or in your home, family kind of life, where there are some things that are kind of leaving. I feel, or you're leaving something behind maybe, yeah? I feel like there's something that you've been having to let go of for a long time and you haven't, but feel like you kind of are now, if that makes sense, yeah? So anyway, this subtle water, hints of the water energy anyway. You know what else? You don't have any, well, you have a little bit of air, but not much. What you have is fire and earth. Earth. Fire here. Earth here. Even the devil card is fire and earth, right? It's a cardinal earth sign, Capricorn energy. You got a lot of fire, you got a lot of earth. Okay? And I think that really is magic maker, that is manifester energy. I think your progress in life right now and whatever you're doing, all areas of your life, things are going to start progressing more and more quickly. You're stationed now. This is where you are on the spiral road. Your current position. You look behind you, you see progress. You look in front of you, you see even more progress, right? So it's kind of like you're able to appreciate where you've been and where you are and where you're going. Because I think you can see, you can tell. When you look at yesterday, you can see I'm better than I was yesterday. When you look at last week, last month, you say, yeah, definitely further along than I was. And you look forward, you say, well, if the past has taught me anything, it's that I'm going to keep making progress. I'm going to keep going down this road, right? So then you have the chariot, the discipline, the self-control, your ability to stay loyal to the road you're on, your ability to stay committed, stay obedient. And it's, in a way, it's kind of saying, don't try to do anything fancy right now. Keep doing what you've been doing. Your dreams are manifesting. The inspiration is coming. The shift is happening. You're taking control. You're creating abundance. You're trusting your own authority and your own kind of commitment. In a way, the emperor is in the chariot. And basically, it's your discipline that's saying, we're going to stay the course. We're not going to get reckless with our chariot. When things start getting a little bit too fun, we might take our driving a little bit less serious. And we're joking around with people in the back. We're looking out the windows. We're cranking up the music. And The Emperor is saying, no, no, no. The Emperor is like, I got both hands on the wheel. I'm paying attention. I'm locked in, laser focused. Maybe that's why there's no water. Maybe it's that it's not the time for fun and games right now, really. Maybe it's the time for you to really streamline. Okay? Sometimes with the Chariot card, it's making us wonder, is there any way we can lighten the load? How do we move faster now? We get rid of baggage. We jettison anything that's weighing us down that doesn't need to be there. And that might be what you're doing with the water energy. Realizing that there have been things in your life that haven't really served a purpose. So for now, maybe just temporarily, you're saying, I'm going to set certain things aside so that I can make progress even faster. It's kind of, I don't need all those TV subscriptions or whatever. Well, I'll just keep my YouTube subscription. I'll keep my Dove and Serpent channel membership. That's it. You know, everything else I don't really need. And you're lightening the load. You know, you're doing whatever you can to try to make progress faster, to keep yourself intact, though. Because faster doesn't always mean better. Okay, what we're trying to do is figure out everything that we need to do to hold this thing together. We got to stay on track. Okay, and that seems to be the battle, that seems to be the challenge right now, is for you to hold everything together and not let the wheels come off. Go as fast as you can without things falling apart, without the wheels falling off, you know. Because the Chariot card is somebody who is in service to something outside of their ego. The fortified ego is the Emperor, right? But you're in service to something greater than you. You're in service to something that is coming maybe after you're gone even, right? And that speaks to our Devil card. Because the Devil card is that creative drive, the generative drive. The Chariot is loyal to something bigger than you. You're a vehicle of your destiny. You're creating something that maybe is for your kids or your grandkids or for the community or for future generations even. It's something that you may not even be able to witness the completion of in your lifetime. You're building a business. Well, it's for you, yeah, of course. But you want it to be there even after you're gone, right? That's the idea behind these two cards. And these two cards are, well, they're opposite cards on the wheel of the Zodiac. So when they come together, this is a sense of wholeness. And with the Aries, it's kind of if we were to see, if we were to see the Libra card or something like that, right? So you've got this sense of wholeness here. Or if maybe you were to have the Virgo card or something like that. The Emperor, under the surface, this is your soul position. Okay? This is the ego now. This is beneath the surface is this sense of discipline and power, this sense of authority, a fortified ego. This is your heart and mind. This is your personality that is just like taking it seriously, taking ownership of it, taking responsibility, keeping your hands upon the wheel. That's what the Emperor is. It's the pilot of the chariot, the one who's driving the chariot. Didn't decide where we're going, okay, but is the one tasked with hands on the wheel, steer the ship. Left turn, right turn, 5-degree down bubble. Spirit, or your conscience, or your creative will, or God, goddess, deity, guardian angel, whatever you want to call it, the universe, your soul, that's the captain. The Emperor is just the pilot. And of course, the chariot is your life. It's you as a whole, okay? And the fortified ego is driving the chariot, but not the one giving necessarily the orders. It's kind of the way the Emperor might be really taking the instruction from that divine energy in their life, taking that advice. The divine energy comes through and kind of tells you what you should do. It's up to the Emperor to facilitate that. Okay? So we're doing something, we're in service to something, we're applying our vehicle to something that is greater than just our personal human ego considerations. So maybe why there's no water. It's not a time for indulgence or anything like that. I would like to see some refreshment or some joy here. But you know, we'll deal with that maybe with that mystery card. The Princess of Wands in the background, I think they must be mowing the lawn outside here today. Anyway, the Princess of Wands is in the background. This is that creative spark. Okay, this is the that inspiration that's flowing through you. I feel like your ideas are coming a mile a minute. Okay, I feel like you're kind of dancing with the tiger here. You're ready to take risks. You're feeling fired up. Okay, this is sometimes a chain. This is the position of the chain in the background, right? This is the link that sometimes binds you. And kind of what I'm feeling here is that there was a time in your life where you kept your creative energy chained up, tied up, hidden away. Because again, this Emperor is something that is down under the surface still. It's something inside of you that needs to be brought forth. Okay, this is what your soul is kind of like. This is your soul speaking the truth even when you've forgotten. Okay, so you got to remember that you are the Emperor. You've got to unchain your creative will and let it, let it be the, I don't know, maybe the spark in the engine. Okay, this is that spark, because you know what we have? We have the chariot, we have the driver of the chariot, we have the engine of the chariot, which is the devil card, and this is the spark inside the engine. Okay, and I kind of feel like there was a time where you didn't feel the spark, or maybe you weren't inspired. Okay, or perhaps you weren't allowing yourself to act on this inspiration, thinking that it was ridiculous, or it was impulsive, or it was reckless. Your inspiration is Spirit's message. Okay, that divine energy flows through your inspiration. That's what being inspired means. That's what being enthusiastic means. It's kind of like being filled with the Holy Spirit, you know. And so you need that spark, otherwise the engine stays cold. The chariot doesn't move. The Emperor has nothing to do, all right? We need that spark. You got to unchain this spark. And so it's kind of telling me that there was a time where you either didn't feel it, or you didn't believe in it, or you didn't think that it was kind of divinely inspired. But I think you're realizing now that it is, yeah? Up above the surface here, the Ace of Pentacles in the position of the Giant. That's your ability to take that step. Okay? That's your ability to grow your abundance. The 9 plus the Ace is like the 10. This is kind of saying like, yeah, we're on the road, but we're not just static. We're not standing still. We're continuing to travel this spiral road. Okay? And this is the seed of prosperity. When you let this spark happen, the engine gets warmed up and the chariot starts moving forward, and we get further down the road, and manifestation starts happening more and more for you. Okay, your imagination is becoming the seed of prosperity. This is that one dream, or that one seed, or that one wild and crazy inspiration that I want you to write down and put it under your pillow. Okay, or if you don't want to put it under your pillow, put it in your car, or whatever your mode of transportation is. Put it in your shoe. A little piece of paper, fold it up, put it in your shoe. Okay? Any one of those places, I think, would be a good idea. But the Ace of Pentacles is that gift, right? That gift of progress, that gift of a dream that is manifesting. Okay? Now, in this position, this is the mirror of your becoming. This is the Imago, position 6. This is sometimes your higher self, your ideal form, the symbol you're slowly sculpting with every act of will. Well, this is someone who is learning. This is a student, okay? This is perhaps somebody that's beginning to believe in their ideas. Somebody that's willing to go from let's say fire to air, right? That you have this divine inspiration, you have this wild and crazy idea. Well then, hey, why don't we turn it into a plan? Why don't we really think about it more and actually take it seriously? So the chariot's these are the kids in the chariot. And this is the impulsive, princess of wands, and the kind of the impulsive princess of swords. They both have ideas. They have this, wild creativity. They're kind of unruly, right? The princess of wands is always trying to do so many different things. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. Look out the window there. Look at all these different things. And the princess of swords is the one that's asking a million questions all the time. Won't stop talking. And between the two of these, you don't want to let them drive the chariot, no. But you've got to, the emperor has to be able to listen to those two. Okay? Entertain those ideas, the 1,000 dreams that you have a night, all those creative sparks that you have. Allow them in to sort of, to get the, to get the engine running. What does an engine need? It needs fuel. It needs combustion. It also needs oxygen. It needs fuel. It needs some kind of water. That's why I'm kind of wondering where the water is here. Okay, where's the gas? So anyway, I think you're becoming a person. You're transforming yourself into a believer. A believer in what? Well, a believer in you. Okay. You are, you're becoming someone that can trust themselves, can acknowledge their creativity and their power and their authority and their progress and say, yeah. So it makes me feel like maybe you didn't have the highest self-esteem at one point. You didn't have tremendous confidence. Okay? You're becoming somebody that can have good ideas, someone who can think outside the box, someone who can kind of be curious, and can not only be curious, but as we see with the 6, as we see with the 9 and with the devil card and all the cards, you can be curious, but you can also follow through with that curiosity, and you can turn it into something tangible and real. Okay? Now, I want you to hit the like button. I want you to subscribe to the channel. The devil card is your general energy. This is that creative drive, the generative drive. The engine of the car wants to get warmed up, wants to drive somewhere, wants to be driven. You want to be driven. The devil really, it has light and shadow, right? And the devil card gets a lot of flack, gets a lot of hate, because it is rather indifferent. The engine of the car doesn't care where the car goes, right? You can take it anywhere. As long as you're revving it, as long as it's churning out its power, it's doing its thing, it doesn't care where you're going. It just wants to go anywhere. So this card sometimes is obsession, hyperfixation, it's temptation, it's just wild and crazy, destructive, getting into trouble. Because it doesn't care where it's going, so it all depends on who's driving, who's behind the wheel. And if your fortified ego, inspired by the divine, is driving the car, then this engine's going to take you to really wonderful places. And in that sense, it's the creative drive. Okay? This is that driving, motivating force inside all of us that just wants to create something, wants to leave a mark on the world, wants to leave the world a better place than how we found it, wants to make a difference, wants to do something that's above and beyond just ego gratification, wants to build something lasting. And the example usually for this drive is, somebody that is beginning a really huge project that they won't live to see the completion of. Okay? And so it's that kind of thing. It's something grand in scale that, maybe you're going to enjoy the ride and you're going to really it's going to be amazing for you personally. It's going to be a lot of pleasure, a lot of hard work, but, a lot of gratification. but it's something that is, that the future generations, other people are going to have to continue moving it forward. Okay? But it's really the card of generation. You're generating something through your efforts. Okay, you're producing something, whether it's the monument or it's the longevity or legacy, family, art. But it's something it's for self. There's ego there, but it's beyond that too. Okay. Now, the death card in the position of the shadow. This is what you avoid. The part of you that was buried in the vault of echoes. It feels like now it's not hidden anymore. It's something I should say that was in the shadows. Okay? You have been or had been avoiding letting go of something. Okay? There was something in your life that needed not be there. And I wonder if it is some kind of a family thing. I don't know if it's a person or if it's some kind of a weight that you've been holding on to. Yeah. Sometimes the death card is really it could be a card of even procrastination, I guess, in a way, right? It's a card of slow and gradual change over the course of time. The death card is a card of, in a way, realizing how limited our time here is. It's kind of castaneda, like using death as an advisor. Realizing that at any moment, death can tap us on the shoulder. Okay? So we better get started creating anything, something, now, right? Because we don't know how long we're going to be able to continue on this road. So maybe you've had to release a fear of death, or even a kind of a fear of starting anything because feeling like, I don't know that I'll be around to finish it. Well, that's okay. That's okay. I don't care how old you are, or how young you are. I don't care if this is about work, home, school. We're leaving something of ourselves behind. Okay, and I feel like you're realizing that you want to make an impression on the world. Not necessarily you have to create something that's going to last forever, like fruit that never rots or something. But you're leaving an impression on other people in your life. You're making a difference in somebody else's life. Maybe you're creating life. Maybe you're maybe you're putting something together that is for other people to enjoy. I think the death card reminds us that this river of life continues to flow on. We can't stop it. We can't even really slow it down, though we try, right? Try every day to slow time down. I don't want to age. I don't want to get older, But we can't use that as an excuse. We can't say, well, what's the point of creating anything when everything just turns to dust? What's the point then? The point is just because you got this engine, the engine wants to drive. It's kind of like life's just a joyride. Not exactly, but you understand what I'm trying to say. We do it just to do it. And it doesn't matter, in a way, it doesn't matter who's around to see it. It doesn't matter if there's some artists that will paint a masterpiece, and then before anybody sees it, they'll burn it, or they'll drench it in water, or they'll throw it out, or they'll crump it up, or they'll paint over it. Kind of a lesson in impermanence. It's a lesson of realizing that time is going to flow on, and we either do or do not, We either create or we don't. We either make our time here meaningful or we don't. I think you're choosing to make it meaningful. You're choosing to believe in those wild thoughts and wild impulses that you have, and you're learning how to channel those into progress. Okay? You're awakening this kind of creativity. and it's manifesting. Things are taking form in your life. Maybe you're an artist, maybe this is a business, maybe this is a family thing, maybe this is school. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're not avoiding yourself. The mirage, the illusion, okay? What you might fear, it's the hermit. Okay. Do you fear being alone? Do you fear being anonymous? Do you fear maybe like kind of, passing anonymously through this world and not leaving any kind of a trace of yourself behind? Or do you maybe fear the opposite? Are you maybe afraid of being seen? Maybe you're afraid of like people noticing you and for there to be some record of your existence on this plane. Okay? None of us are islands. Okay? Even if you are the loneliest person in the world, you still have made an impact on life, on the universe. Whether it's pets, plants, people, or just the ground that you're standing on. Okay, the hermit is the one that goes their own way. The hermit sort of rebels against the hierophant, right? The hermit is the one that rejects conformity and order and any kind of proscription and says, I'm going to go my own way and do my own thing. So the mirage here is that you have to do what everybody else does. You have to do the traditional things. You have to follow the doctrine and the dogma of your culture. The hermit is saying, I'm going to go do life my way. If we get one shot on this thing, and I don't know if we do or not, if death is our advisor and death is always getting ready to tap us on the shoulder, you better believe I'm going to go through life. I'm going to do things my way, the best I can, in the best way that I can. Because I'm in service to something higher than just my ego or anybody else's ego, for that matter, I feel like this is what you're embracing now, and this is what you've begun to realize. That you can go your own way. This isn't really, I think that the mirage here, the illusion, is that you can't cut your own way through the jungle, that you can't find your own path. Or that you're not allowed to, or you're not supposed to, or it's like, it's not the acceptable thing. I think you're very, very unique. And I think that you're learning to take your power, you're learning to trust your creativity and trust your own voice, and do things in your unique way. You're a very authentic soul. And now the final card is our Six of Wands, victory. Right? Jupiter in Leo, there's an expansive quality. Your ego is getting bigger, for one thing, and that's okay. It's okay for the ego to get bigger as long as it stays in service to that creative will or that divine energy or to spirit or whatever your deeper purpose in life is, okay? Staying true to that inner light. This is the card of struggling and succeeding. Okay? And everything is a win. Every morning, every day above ground is a win. Every breath we take is a win. Everything is a victory over a struggle. Just taking a breath. Just me sitting here, semi-upright in a chair is my victory over gravity right now. Okay? And so you're learning that you are capable, that you are strong. I like this card. This is the next page of the codex that's waiting to be written. And to me, it feels like it's the continued motivation. This is like you're driving a 6-cylinder car, 6-cylinder engine, I know maybe 6 cylinders isn't that much, I don't know. But all of your cylinders are firing, and your chariot is chugging on down the road. on the path that you're creating. You're manifesting things that are important to you and to the world that you want to build and the world you want to leave behind one day. Maybe you're creating wealth. Maybe you're, I don't know what you're doing. But I want to look at the mystery card. What is this going to be? I think water. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Gotta be water. No, it's not water. It's 8 of Wands. The 8 of Wands is swiftness. Okay? It's fast moving. Yeah. And I think that you are picking up speed in your life. I think you're finding ways to let go of doubt, let go of resistance, mental resistance, blockages, letting go of attachments to things that don't mean anything, don't matter to you anymore. You're simplifying, you're downsizing, you're going kind of minimalist, you know, because that's going to help you go faster. You're putting a lot of your resources into the things that matter to you, and you're not scattering your energy in all these different directions. You're channeling your energy. You're channeling your creativity toward the things that you want to do, the things that matter to you, because you realize, hey, time is short. Time is short, better start making a difference. Yeah. On a small scale or a large scale, doesn't really matter. Putting all of your arrows aim in the same direction. I think things are really picking up speed for you because you're lightening the load. Okay? And you're finding ways to sort of to draw more power out of the engine. Okay, so we're removing things that are going to be too heavy, to weigh us down. We're finding ways to continue to motivate ourselves further and further. Sometimes that death card is the greatest motivator. You're going to die someday. Oh, okay, I better get better get the lead out, you know. What we're going to do now is the extended reading, okay? This transmission is going to continue beyond the gate. We'll cast an I Ching hexagram, we'll draw from the oracles, and we'll open a new cluster of keys from the codex. If you feel called to continue, the path is open. There's a link in the corner, and there's one below the video. New transmissions for Pisces on Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to receive both. Subscribe if you haven't yet. It aligns your signal with the dove current and ensures that the next page in the codex will find you. Leave a comment and let me know where along the spiral road you're watching from. It helps us map the resonance of the temple. I want you to remember you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. The codex reveals itself through you. I love you, I thank you, and we are all walking this path together.